I've been telling people for some time now, and I believe very strongly, that the filibuster is on its last leg. Now, either we get rid of that filibuster business now, or we will lose the House, and they will get rid of it, the Republicans get rid of it in the next Congress.
Okay. Joining me now is my friend Charles Love, of course, of The Charles Love Show and author of the book Race Crazy. Charles, that sounds like a Democrat admitting we have to pass a bill so we can cheat or we're going to lose the House. Did I misinterpret that some way?
Yeah. You know, as usual, I'm here to correct you. You misinterpreted. What it is, you know,
okay,
is race crazy. So what the race makes you crazy. So what it does is, you didn't know this, but racism morphs, right? So it depends on what you want to happen. So when they want the filibuster, good. When they don't want it, racist, right? So that's how it is. So you just got to see who's asking for it, what's the context, and then that's how you apply it. So what he said makes total sense.
Charles, you're always so sharp on this stuff. Tell me, is this filibuster ever going away? I mean, both sides seem to kind of flirt with it a little bit when they take power. It's never gone away, but I'm not under the impression what happened yesterday is always what happens tomorrow. Is it always going to be there? It's just a bunch of bluster or what?
I mean, things can change because we have seen some crazy, but in theory, I think this is one of the few things that's a lot of noise in the public because it riles up your base. But in reality, they all want it, right? Because they want to be able to have control and some power when they're in the minority. So of course they want it, but they have to say the things that they need to say to make it look like they're fighting the fight. So I won't say it won't ever go away, but I don't think they're really pushing as hard as they're pretending to make it go away.
I keep hearing people tell me that. They tell me a lot of this comes from Chuck Schumer, who blows off about getting rid of the filibuster because he's actually worried about AOC challenging him in a Senate primary.
That could be. It's definitely political. But the real thing is what all this is coming from. It's all about voting rights, which is a farce in itself. So that's the thing that's so shocking about it. Every time it comes up, it's really an argument, a de facto argument, a proxy war on something else. And this time it's voting rights, so whatever that's supposed to be.
Joe Biden made a bunch of headlines the other day with his voting rights speech where even Dick Durbin was criticizing Joe Biden's rhetoric, Jim Crow 2.0, and all this just absurdity. Ted Cruz got up and blasted away at it pretty good. Watch this video.
Schumer wants to do it on is a takeover of elections. And, you know, it's interesting. The rhetoric the Democrats use on this is Jim Crow. You know, Jim Crow laws were written by elected Democrats, and they were designed to prevent the voters from voting Democrats out of office. That's what Schumer's trying to do today. This is Jim Crow 2.0 of Democrats once again trying to take away the ability of the voters to vote them out of office. It's wrong, and it's an abuse of power.
Charles, is he right?
In part, obviously. But if you want to be fair, the Republicans in the states that they're in power do things to maintain power. We both know politicians like to maintain power. But it's you know, the bigger issue is what is at stake? Are their votes really being suppressed? You know, my mom is an 85-year-old. I mean, she's strongly on Team Democrat. I can't think of an issue she doesn't agree with them on. Even if she doesn't really believe in the argument, she will fight with the team. On this, she draws a strict line. She thinks she's worse than most people. She thinks it's crazy that we act like blacks can't vote. And beyond that, she's saying outside of military, absentee, traveling for work, things that come up, everybody needs to vote on election day in person, full stop. The fact that, and see, that's the issue. We're changing the definition of, I know the argument is race, but we're really changing the definition of what voting rights are, right? It's not whether somebody can vote. It's whether they can vote 30 days in advance. It's whether they can hand their ballot to someone else in ballot harvesting. It's whether, you know, they can do all these other things. And now we're changing the definition. If you disagree with any of those steps, then you're against votes, which is not true. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of black people. I don't know any of them that can't vote.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.